Fit to Love is physical, emotional, and spiritual fitness to achieve the happy life you deserve. From exercise to cooking, relationships, and spirituality, you'll find all the inspiration you need right here with our host, JJ Flizanes.
Hello and welcome to Fit to Love Tasty Tuesdays, all about cooking, all about nutrition, and all about you. If there's something you'd like to see on the show, we'd love to hear from you. Please send us an email at info@invisiblefitness.com. Enjoy the show. Today's show, easy roasted vegetables. When I teach this in a cooking class, I normally buy bags of already cut and washed vegetables just to make it easier so that people are not discouraged about cutting and chopping vegetables if they want to get more vegetables into their diet. So that's what I'm going to do here, but of course know that you can always chop and clean your own vegetables. I would encourage that. So I'm going to start off with, Trader Joe's has a great display and array of different vegetables that are already done for you. This one is mushrooms, asparagus, and red onion, and I'm literally going to take the paper off and dump it into my roasting pan. Okay. Next, and I also love to have onion in all my roasted vegetables because it caramelizes it. So you want to make sure that that's why I love this blend, because it already has onion in it, so I don't have to cut any. Next, I'm going to add our cauliflower and our broccoli. And lastly, I'm going to add already cut Brussels sprouts. Now, if you can get it organic, that's the best thing to do, but sometimes you're not always going to be able to find that unless you grow it yourself. You want to make sure that when you put your vegetables in the roasting pan that it's not double layered. You kind of want to smooth it out so that way there's room for each of the vegetables to roast. It'll miss the opportunity with the connection to the pan if they're double or triple layered. So next we're going to add our high heat oil, which this time I'm going to use the non-GMO, which means genetically modified organism. We've talked about that on a couple of the different shows, but if you don't know what that is, you can look up GMO. But basically it means our food has been genetically modified. It's molecular, it's been cross-pollinated with different kinds of pesticides in order to make it bug and insect repellent so they don't eat the plant. But then of course we're eating the same pesticides that are killing off the bugs. So if you can eat non-GMO, it's much better. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a nice drizzle of oil over my vegetables. You don't want them to be swimming in oil, but you also want to use enough oil that it roasts the vegetables. Next, I'm going to use garlic powder. Surprise, surprise. And again, you can season your vegetables any way that you want to. I'm going to show you something that's really fun for me. So Trader Joe's has the South African smoked seasoning blend. It contains paprika flakes, sea salt, garlic, and basil. But there's really not a lot of salt in it, so don't get freaked out by the salt. So I'm going to grind this and use this on the vegetables. A lot of times I've had people come over who don't love vegetables. I'm actually thinking of someone's grandparents who, when I served the broccoli and the cauliflower with all the seasonings that I'm going to show you, said, "How did you get the vegetables to not taste like vegetables?" So know that all these different combinations can be really fun to play with. And if you don't like something I've mentioned, just substitute it with something else. You can play with it. You can make several different pans of vegetables and try different seasonings. When I do a cooking class, I usually separate some of the vegetables just so we can play with the different oils and the different seasonings so people can see what they like. Next, I'm going to use extra paprika, which is red in color. It's going to give a nice earthy flavor. It's almost like a little tomato-y. Using a lot of Greek cooking. And there's already some in this blend. I'm going to use a little bit of turmeric because, again, I love the color and I love the anti-inflammatory properties of it, and I love the cheesy meatiness of it. And then next, I'm going to give it some salt. Okay. So now we have our vegetables all ready to go in the oven. And because we're already roasting a chicken, I'm going to go ahead and put the vegetables in with the chicken in the last 40 minutes, which means so that's how to make a chicken and vegetables at the same time and not have to use the oven at 2 different times. I like my vegetables caramelized and not soggy, but really soft. My husband likes his vegetables a little bit crunchy, so I try to do somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes on about 375 to 400. But again, also take it out after 20 minutes and test it and see. And also you're gonna wanna test it and move it around so that we can mix some of the oils and the spices together.
The Fit to Love podcast show offers you 6 days a week of helpful content to achieve the happy life you deserve. Movement Mondays and Tasty Tuesdays are weekly videocasts, while Wellness Wednesdays, Thoughtful Thursdays, Freedom Fridays, and Sexy Saturdays are audio-only shows themed every week to address your holistic life and needs. If the show inspired you, we would love for you to share it and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us today. Head on over to fittolove.tv for recaps of every show, resources, and to join the community. That's FIT, the number 2, LOVE.TV. Have a fit and fabulous day.